Hey everybody, AwesomeMattG here, and today we're going to be talking about Video Game Battle Royale. For those of you who are new to my channel, this is something that I'm trying to get going to do like every year roughly. It's basically kind of a bracket system of video game titles to see what games everybody likes, what games people don't like, and what kind of stuff you guys want me to play. The way this is going to work, I'm kind of adjusting the rules from last year based off of user feedback. Last year we did like a bracket system of 128 game series or specific titles, and I got a lot of feedback that people really loved the idea, but there were a few things in there that they wanted to adjust so that it worked a little better. So what we're going to do now is, instead of doing 128 options, we're going to reduce it to 64. In addition to reducing the number of total titles or options for us, I'm including a loser's bracket. If you click in the description, I'm going to have links to the old bracket, and which would detail kind of how it works if you're not familiar with it, so you can get an idea as to what we're talking about. And then I'll include a link to what my new bracket will look like. Obviously, it's not going to have any game titles in it. But basically, we're going to have... I'm also going to separate this into categories, because a lot of people were a little upset that certain titles were pitted against each other that are not similar at all. And I mean, eventually that's going to be a requirement, because when you get down to the nitty-gritty and you're getting down to like the final 8 or the final 4 choices, you're going to have to start pitting oddball games against each other that don't, normally go hand in hand. You're going to have a fighting game versus an RPG, and you're like, how do you even compare the two? But I'd like to try to eliminate that as much as possible, at least at the beginning. So if you look at the main bracket at the top of it, there's 4 chunks that kind of feed down into each other to get to the... I forget if it's the final 8 or the final 4. But we're going to try to separate those into 4 roughly major categories. So I'm going to have like one of the chunks is going to be role-playing, and then FPS games, action-adventure games will be the 3rd chunk, and then the 4th one's going to be miscellaneous, so it'll be sports games, racing, trading card games, the oddball stuff like that. So I want to get some of your feedback on it. The bracket's basically set at the moment, and you can also see the losers bracket below. So like in the first round, the losers will go down to the losers bracket, and then they can fight their way back in if it's a title that was pitted against something else that was deemed, quote unquote unfair. They shouldn't have to fight this one particular game. Well, if it's really popular, it can come back and re-enter the bracketing system towards the end, and maybe even win. So basically what we're going to do is, each video, once I get the games in place and all that good stuff, each video after we actually start Season 2, I guess, of the Video Game Battle Royale, there's going to be anywhere between 2 and 4 matches listed in the description of the video. And all you have to do to participate is leave a comment on the same video listing out of those matches who you would want to win. So I'm going to put an example on the screen of how that would go. So I'd have like 4 matches here, and then you would choose one winner for each grouping in that match, if that makes any sense. I'll put something on the screen for the video so it makes a little more sense than that. I know that's a bit confusing. Basically, the rough rules are going to be each viewer can only vote once per video, but you can vote for the whole grouping. So if there's 4 pairings, you can vote once for each pairing in the video. It'll make sense once you actually get in there and see. You'll start seeing other people vote that voted last year, And if you're new, you're going to get the hang of it and go, oh, okay, this makes sense. I know what I'm doing now. But once again, I've put something on the screen here. The voting for each grouping will last 48 hours. So if I post the video at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time on Monday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesday, Monday's voting will end. Of course, Tuesdays will end on Thursday, Wednesdays will end on Friday, and so on. So it kind of makes sense. I don't want the voting to go on indefinitely, so I figured 48 hours is a good time frame. Most everybody will be able to get in and vote for that. If a particular pairing ends in a tie, like if I bid 2 games against each other, and then at the end of the 48-hour period they both have like 30 votes each, I'll do a coin flip tiebreaker from some coin flipping webpage, and the coin flip will decide the winner. And the big deal about this is that whoever wins the whole thing will get a full-length Let's Play series on my channel, eventually. If it's a game I don't own, I'll have to purchase it and then play it. Last year Skyrim won, and obviously I'm in the middle of that series right now. The only catch with Skyrim is I didn't own it, and I didn't have like 70 or 80 bucks at the time to go out and buy Skyrim and all the add-ons, so it took a while. Somebody eventually gifted it to me, and that's when I started playing it. So the other stipulation here is the game that wins for me to play it, it has to be something I can actually play. So, for example, I don't own any Xbox consoles. So if you want to submit an Xbox game into the Video Game Battle Royale, that's fine. But if one of them wins, I can't play it because I don't own the console. And I don't make the kind of money on YouTube that dictates that I can go out and buy a console solely to play one game to make a video series on. Sorry, I don't have that kind of cash flow. So keep that in mind. Like I said, I have no problems with titles in here that I can't play. Basically anything on PC I can play. I have a PS2 and a PS3, so I can play any of those titles. I have a GameCube, so anything that can play on a GameCube I can play. I don't have a Wii or a Wii U. I don't have a PS4, so I can't do any of those games. But once again, they can easily be submitted and they can win. It's just I'll end up choosing the highest ranked game of a system or console that I own as what actually gets a full-length Let's Play. Unless somebody's like, hey, I'm going to vote for this game on the PS4 and then I'll donate you like 400 bucks and you can go buy everything you need. And then I'm like, okay, that's dedication. Don't go out and plan that ahead of time, but please don't do that. I don't. I would feel very guilty about having you guys do that, but whatever. So let me know what you think. Submit some games, and it can be specific titles, or it can be like a game series. Like if you don't care which title I would play from a particular series, you would just like to see me play a game in that series, that's fine. You can post that whole series in there, and I'll try to kind of pit those against each other, so it's like full series versus full series type deal. Other than that, I think that about covers it. You can contact me with game suggestions either via the comments in this video, or send me a PM on YouTube, tweet to me, send me an email. I'll put my email address in the description below as well, but it's the same email address that I have posted on my Twitter account, so you can email me there. Give me as many suggestions as you want. You can even download the bracket, fill out the 64 games that you think I should play, and send me that, and then I can kind of clean it up from there, so that I can count the votes. And when everybody suggests all these games, I'll kind of tally them all together, take all the popular ones that are listed. There are a few games that won't qualify, so if somebody says Skyrim, it won last year, so it's not gonna. I'm not going to play it again. Well, let me rephrase that. I might play Skyrim again, but I'd rather it not be in the bracket system, because I may just replay it because I love it. But that's neither here nor there. You kind of get the idea. Once again, let me know if you have any questions. I'll answer everything I can in the comments as quickly as possible. Yeah, and that about does it. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll get this started here pretty soon.